Going? We're on? Excellent. I want to thank you all for making it to another meeting of the Santa Barbara Real Estate Investor Association. We are small in numbers, as you can see today, but we're big on the internet because all you have to do is get out there and get those ratings up and put something out there that will help people, and it works. So I want to thank you all for being here. The main thing that you have to remember when we get Jim up here is you're speaking to more than just who's in the room here. Okay, so for all you people who didn't make it to the meeting and get to watch the videos, I have to watch them over and over just so I can remember what everybody said. It's really a good way to get that information. Okay? So we've got the main website, Santa Barbara SBREIA, or the short version will both get you there. If you're wondering where all those videos are, hey, Victor made it. You just go to meetings, and when you click on that, up will come a list. And on the left side will be a bunch of dates, and those will take you to the pictures on the web page with all the information about that meeting. On the right side of those dates, it says video. When you click on that, it'll take you to the YouTube videos. Okay? So we video everything. We put it all up on YouTube. I think we're up to about maybe 23,000 views on the YouTube channel, which is pretty good. And I got lucky because I did a video on our Nissan Leaf a couple years back. And that alone drove up like 7,000 views because everybody wants to know about electric cars and how that's going. So, you know, you just get lucky sometimes. So I should do more of that, right? We have the YouTube channel, and that's it. YouTube.com, Dan Ringwald. And here I think it says 23 or something like that subscribers. No, there it is. 8,000, but we're well above that because this was done a while back. So lots of videos up there. Meetup.com, you can register for Meetup.com. You don't have to go there. You can always register back at the main website. When you come over here to meetings, that drops down. You just click on there, pay, and away you go. The reason that this is good is because it's free for you and it helps to expand your network. So if you're doing real estate, you've got to expand your network. You've got to meet people. And a lot of people will see you on there and they'll go, oh, hey, you know what? James, I saw you there and I know that you're doing stuff in Ventura and I want to talk to you about that. So that's why it's important to get on something that's free for networking. You got to do the networking. Okay, registration, well, let's see. It doesn't look quite as nice as that. In fact, we had to axe the wine because we had even speakers come here and drink a little bit too much. I think Keith came to me one day and he goes, hey Dan, the speaker, I think he's drunk. And I said, yeah, he came here on an empty stomach and food from out of state and had a little too much wine. So we're not doing the wine anymore. It was kind of an evening thing anyway. I'll be up here till about 2:30, covering things on free training. Okay, so we've got real estate, marketing, personal development, going green. We've got investment income with rental properties, and then we have earned income with wholesaling properties. And those are really two different types of real estate transactions and ways of making money, and totally different tax-wise. When people talk about flipping properties, most people think about fix and flip, which is investment income. But just signing contracts and not fixing anything is earned income. It's totally different tax-wise, and it's totally different as far as how the IRS sees you, so we'll talk a little bit about that too. And then when I'm done, we'll have Jim Bean. He'll be up here, he's in the back now. And he's got some very interesting information that when I listened to him a little bit about back in June, when Linda Pliagas, who's here, talked about it, I thought, you know, this really isn't insurance. He's doing something completely different. So I got to get him back so I can understand exactly what they are doing because it sounds really good. So it's a vehicle and a way of borrowing your own money. He'll explain it, but some good stuff. I won't try to get into it too deep because I really don't know. You know, first thing I tell my students who are getting the free training that I do, don't get on the phone and act like you know something you don't know, and don't be afraid to get on the phone because you don't know. None of us really know it all, even though some of us like to act like we do. We don't. So, you know, just be honest. The number one fear for everybody is being conned. The next fear is what I'm doing right now, which is public speaking. And once I finally got to the point where I said, geez, it's okay to look like an idiot and sound like one, then I could do it, right? Really, it's more about making sure you get the message and you understand what we're trying to do here. As long as I'm able to do that, then it's working. And you get used to the public speaking too. Okay? But being conned is the big one. And, you know, we have to let people know. I don't know the answer, but I'll find out. One way or another, we'll find out. We're not here to give you a snow job. Okay? And then we'll end. We've got a few three books that look like they're gone, a couple pens and some things, but after we're done, we can go downstairs, have some food if you want to hang out, do a little bit more networking. So there'll be all that going on too.
They're remodeling down there, so.
Oh, that's right, they are remodeling down there.
Yeah, just the restaurant.
Just the rest.
Well, let's see, the restaurant is like $100 a plate, not cheap. The other one is much less expensive. There's a kind of a little sandwich shop down there in the middle, and then there's, I don't know what they call it, the Reagan, Ronald, whatever it is, restaurant, which is pretty expensive. But in any case, there's a place down there that we can go hang out, okay? So that's kind of what's going to happen. So I'm going to go through. Anybody got any questions before we go on? Thank you for mentioning that. I did go by there and looked at that and saw it all taped off. And then I could see they were tiling the floor down there, and I went, oh, that's going to be a little different today.
They're getting ready to flip it.
That's probably what's going to happen. Well, let's hope the new owners are as nice as the current ones, because we've been really happy and lucky to have this facility. I just told Marie on the way here, they haven't raised the price to us. Prices are going up. Food's not where it was 5 years ago, right? So let's take a look at the free training. If you go into the Santa Barbara website, there is a little link here that takes you to the free training page, which basically looks like that and shows you that we've got some training on marketing, some training on real estate, and some training on basically going green, personal development. Personal development is a kind of a funny thing to be doing, and I really do it to push myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do. For instance, when I was working at the university for 26 years, I created a computer service organization. I knew that I knew PC computers, but I didn't really know Macintosh computers that much. And it was really important for me and my business on campus to know Macintosh computers, so I thought, you know what? The best way for me to learn about Macintosh computers is to go teach a Macintosh class through UC Extension, because I was already teaching PC classes. Imagine that, not knowing anything about it. And I had a couple people in the class as I was doing this come to me and say, hey, Dan, you know what? You really don't know that much about Macintosh computers.
Yeah, let the students teach you.
Yeah, and my reply was, you know, you're right. I don't know as much as you do, and I would love to pay you to come in here and help me teach this class. And I guarantee you I would do that all day long, because the more you can kind of automate and delegate and bring people in on your team, the better things get for everybody. So that satisfied the few people who did know more than me, and the rest of them that knew less just knew less and had no clue. But it pushed me to go learn, because like, oh God, I got to get in front of all these people and teach something I don't know. You better learn it now. So that's kind of personal development. That's the segue to personal development. It's about being with people and kind of teamworking, and just being together and doing that pushes you farther than you normally go. It's not about beating each other up and saying you didn't make the call or you weren't there or whatever, or beating yourself up, because we do that all the time. Anyway, we don't need people to beat us up. We're pretty good at that. Right? But personal development and goal setting does push your limits. It does make you move forward. So that's the good thing about that. Computing, Santa Barbara Computing is one of my businesses I've done for years. And that's where we do the marketing. So if you need computing support and you're on my team getting trained for free, you're also getting computing support of all kinds of things, you know. Save you thousands of dollars in places you'd probably spend money that I just go, no, don't do that. Here's the place you can do this for free. Okay? So that's a good thing to have. This is the socializing marketing. I thought this would be like a really big deal, but, you know, just because I thought, you know, it's just my opinion. This whole day is just my opinion, right? Everybody's got one. Well, I got mine. I thought it was going to be big. It's good marketing. I use it personally. But as far as multi-level marketing, it's too expensive. Most people aren't going for it. But it's really good for me. I'm using it, and it kind of took things like PC, go to my PC, or what is the video conferencing that Centrex has?
That's what
Go to meeting and different things like that. There's about 5 or 6 different products out on the market. If you pay them individually, it would cost you a lot more than this, so this works for me. But it's something that if you're interested, we can dig into it deeper. Okay? Personal development, we talked about that a little bit. One of the things that's on the personal development that we didn't have in the past, we have now because the speaker came here. And as far as I'm concerned, any speaker that has any value to give us should be here to speak. It's not just about real estate, okay? It's about investing. Really, it's about investing. And if it's investing in your health, then it's a good investment. If you read Think and Grow Rich, the number one thing in Think and Grow Rich was your health. If you don't have that, you really don't have anything, because you could have $1 million, and how good is it and easy to enjoy $1 million when you're rolling up in a wheelchair, So we had a speaker come here and talk about health and about how doing hair samples can take a look at your body chemistry, and then you can get different types of reports back from this company that will show you what kind of foods you should eat, what kind you shouldn't eat, and if you want supplements, you can take those too to speed up the process. You don't have to, but you could. So that's on the website. My wife is a registered nurse, and she can deal with you on that if you're interested. On the real estate side, these are 2 different businesses. NHB LLC is National Home Buyers, and it is an LLC, which is mine. NHB Inc. is something I created here more recently out of a website I've had for years. I was racking my brains trying to think of a name for doing earned income and doing this wholesaling. And all of a sudden one morning I woke up and I went, what an idiot. You've had this thing going for 10 years, you didn't even know what you had, use it. So NHB Inc. is the website for wholesaling. So investment income is things that you put money into, your own money into, and you get investment income back. So if you're flipping a property and you actually repair that property, you probably put the property in your name or your company name, which means that any expense, any income when you sell, anything that's in and around that flip is considered earned income because you actually own it. Okay? If you didn't own it, which is really this business, you're wholesaling on a contract assignment basis, and you're never putting it in your name, never coming a dollar out of your pocket, never responsible for anything, never have any fear that you're going to lose a whole lot of money, and it's not even your responsibility to find out if it's a good deal or not. The first thing I have with inexperienced investors who come to me and say, Dan, you've got this property, we're very interested in it, but we want to see the proof that it's worth it. And the first thing I say is, hey, you know what? I'm not buying it. And if you don't hurry up, you're not buying it either, because there are some other investors that will probably go for this property because it appears to me that it's a good deal. But if you're going to be the person buying it, you need to do your due diligence, and you need to go find out real quick if it's a good deal or not, so that you can make some money off of it. It's not our job. You're buying it, not me. We're just doing a contract assignment. We've got a seller, you're a possible buyer. We get the thing through escrow, we close. We get a fee for that. It's not a commission, because we're not realtors. Never have been, never want to be. It's just my choice. Doesn't mean it's any better than somebody who is a realtor or is a realtor and an investor. It's just my choice. It's a personal preference, a lifestyle. I can do things in my business that no realtor can do, or they'd lose their license. Now, am I scamming? Am I conning? No. Is putting for sale signs and vacant properties that we have no clue who owns them illegal? No, but if you were a realtor, you might lose your license. There's different things that we do that, It's not a huge problem for me, and it's not a huge problem for most people, but it's probably not the kind of thing the board of realtors would be too happy to see, right? So there's different things that we do that we can get to buyers and sellers a little bit quickly or quicker. So it works, okay? We're not going to wholesale $20,000 properties. It takes just as long to wholesale a $20,000 property as it does a $1 million property. I've made $50,000 in the past on a wholesale deal that I never owned with a $100 contract, and I think I probably even put the $100 into escrow, but now I don't put anything in escrow because my contracts say that the contract assignment, who I'm assigning this contract to, is going to put the money in escrow if it ever shows up in escrow. I've even had escrow companies, when we close, come back and say, Dan, we got a problem. And I say, okay, what's the problem? Well, nobody ever put that $100 according to the contract in escrow. And I said, okay, so what's the problem? Well, what do we do? How do we show that? And I said, well, you know, you put it down there as it wasn't paid, make sure it gets collected when you close. Is that a problem? No, we can do it like that. And I said, okay, is there any other problem? No, there's no problem. Okay. So, you know, that even happens. So really, we're talking about never having a dime out of your pocket for anything, and if there ever was, whoever is taking on that contract assignment is going to pay it anyway. So do you need money to do this business? No. What you need is the most important thing you have in your life, your time. And that's really all I want. It's the most important thing you have in your life. Because when it's gone, we're gone. It's over. Okay? So make it fun. If you go to my website, and this is one of them, the National Home Buyers website. This is actually our house in Santa Barbara, up on West Camino Cielo, just to show you that it does snow in Santa Barbara. It's been a long time, but if this is an El Nino year, I think that snow happened in May. Can you imagine snow in May?
Oh, wow.
So, turnkey, rent-ready properties, National Home Buyers, and that's the view out of our front room window of the Santa Barbara and the Love Boat, you know, coming through the harbor, or through the channel there. With the investment properties, we have done properties for $20,000 in the past. When we purchased the property, it's pretty hard to find a $20,000 property now. And we really want to kind of stay away from $20,000 properties because you're talking about areas where if we spend a whole lot of time educating the tenants how they can pay half as much to own it with little to no money down as they would to rent, they get to the point where they're qualified to buy, and then they say, I don't want to live in this neighborhood. And you can't blame them. So we really have to step it up a little bit and make sure that when we're getting properties, they're properties where if somebody did get qualified, they would be very happy to live in that neighborhood. Yeah, you can have Section 8 homes all day long, but most people that do rental properties think of rental properties as rental properties. I don't think of them as rental properties, and I don't do it that way because most people don't really care about the rental property the way somebody would care about it if it was going to be their property that they wanted to actually own someday. They'll actually start fixing it up and doing things labor-free, if we can get them to. And I tell them, hey, look, our investors will pay for the materials. You want to? We just had a fence put up on one of Michael's properties in Indiana a few months back, and people said, well, we want a fence in our backyard. It's got to go the left side, the right side, and the back by the garage. And I said, okay. Probably be about $1,000 in materials. My investor is willing to pay the $1,000 in materials if you do the labor. Can you do the labor free? And they said, yeah, we could do that. So they did it. The fence looks great. The more people do that kind of stuff, the more they go. And she even said it. She got back to me in an email and said, well, you know, we put that fence in there, and it was our labor for free. We don't want you to kick us out of here now. We want this house. See, they're putting skin in the game.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose something when they start doing something like that. And that's what you want to do, is you want to have people be a team member.
The right mindset.
The right mindset, exactly. So I said, yeah, you know, that's going to work out. You're not going to go, as long as you pay the rent, you're not going anywhere. We want you to stay there until you buy it. And that's my whole thing, is to help you through that process. I'll get you hooked up with credit unions to help you get your credit where it needs to be, whatever it takes. Little to no money down. If we can figure out a way, no money down, great. We'll even get the appraisal price, and once we get the appraisal price, when you're qualified, we'll discount that by $5,000, so you have some kind of equity when you move in, something to help you pay the couple thousand that you might have to pay, to get qualified, to be, get a loan. And we want you to have a good loan. See, the problem with a lot of this stuff is there are programs out there where the investors go, oh, we don't care how bad your credit is. We're going to give you a loan, and we're going to finance it. We're going to put your name on the deed, and you don't have to put any money down, and we'll finance it. Yeah, you know what they finance it at? Probably 8% or 10% or 12%. It's great for the investor. That's not great for the tenant. How does a tenant win in a situation like that? They're stuck with something that they may never get out of. Because if they never really do what it takes to get qualified, how are they going to get out of 10 or 12%? They're not. It's just not going to happen. So I refuse to even go down that path. I'm not going to throw my tenants to the sharks to satisfy some investor. One of my investors comes back and says, Dan, I want to do a loan with our tenants, and I'll finance it. I just say, you're not going to finance it at 4%. And they're not. We got a loan recently for some rehab that needed to be done because the investor didn't have the money. So we joint venture on these properties. And you can see that even at $20,000, if the rent, if the rent is $600 a month, and that's $36 per year, and you split that up, and I get $18,000 in 5 years, and the investor gets $18,000 in 5 years, and we sell it, and we get some profit from selling, and we divide up the profits. Look what the profits are. $34,000 and $34,000. And I haven't put a dime of my money into it. Okay?
But you put a lot of your time into that.
The most important thing that I've got, my time. And the investor hasn't had to put any time into it, just their money. Now, they're putting their time someplace else to get the money, but they may love what they're doing, They may love painting on the beach, and they make lots of money doing that. The last thing they want to do is this. This is like, for creative artists, they don't want to do that. So, the thing about this is it always ends up being 50-50. No matter what the price is, no matter what it costs, no matter what the charges are for repairs or anything, it's all added up and it's all divided up and it comes out 50-50. And it's a tough job. Talk to my wife. She's a registered nurse and she wants to get out of nursing and she wants to come and just work with me doing this full time. And the more she comes into doing it with me, the more she goes, wow, this is like working all the time. At least when I left the nursing, I got to go home and forget about it, but this is never done. It's true. You got to be a certain mindset to even want to do something like this because it is, your own business is always going to be forever. Okay, but at least you get to walk any day that you decide, okay, I'm just not going to work today, you can do that. That's the nice thing about that kind of freedom. To me, my time is the most valuable thing in my life, and the more freedom I have in my time is the most valuable. And as long as I enjoy what I'm doing, then it's fun. This may not be fun for some people in here, especially if you're the type that want to invest rather than doing the work. And if you want to invest, then you don't have to do this. We do all the hard work. If you say, Dan, I don't have any money to invest, well, that's NH Big Inc. That's the wholesaling. We can do that for free because it doesn't work charging people $20,000 and $45,000 for education, and then a year down the line they've never done a deal and they never do and they give up and just say forget it. I want long-term relationships that go on. We're doing this LLC. I've got Michael with Michael V LLC. He's got a couple properties in there. His sister's got properties in there to pay for her college. All that stuff is coming out of the business so that they are basically, I said, you want some money, you want some business. This is going to force you into eventually dealing with it. And it doesn't matter what kind of, my daughter is going to be a nurse too. It doesn't matter what kind of profession or part-time job you've got. If you get successful at doing anything, you're going to have to learn how to manage it. And this is a way to manage your money. And it can be part-time or it can be full-time. Okay? So it pretty much, even if you are an investor doing the artwork on the beach, if you don't spend some time in the accounting side of managing your finances, I guarantee you somebody will manage that for you very nicely, and you'll be drawing pictures of them floating down the ocean with your money. Because they will do that. That's how it works. Okay, so these are some properties I've got on the national home buyer side. If you go to the website, there's a link there that'll take it here and also take it here and show you different properties that we've got for sale. This is one that we'll be talking about here that we listed here just recently. And here's a property in Memphis, Tennessee. We've got tenants in there. I think she's paying $875 per month. She's been doing a great job for years. And of course, if anybody says, Dan, I'd like half of that, all you have to do is come talk to me. We'll get you on the deed. We'll take some money forward. You can go back living your life, and we'll continue managing and dealing with it. And every month you get half the rent. And when we sell, you get half the profits. And there's a big difference between property managers and people who actually own the property. Property managers don't make money by charging 10%. That's an illusion. 10% doesn't pay for that business. What pays for that business is constantly turning those properties over, and every time the tenant moves out, spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to get new paint, new carpets, new whatever, and the more they can come up and treat you like crap, so that you get tired of that property manager and move, the sooner they can do their little business of turning it over. So if you ever wondered why property management companies might treat you like crap, it's nothing personal. Really, it's nothing personal. It's all about money, and that's how they make it. Okay? I don't make it like that. You know, if I kept doing that, there would go my profit. So my whole thing is, how do we keep the tenants happy? How do we get them to buy it? How do we spend as little as possible, but still make it livable and have it be nice? And I tell them right off the bat, it does not make sense for you to go, hey, you know what? I don't want to do anything to this property. I want to buy it really quick for as little as I can, and then I'll fix it up myself. No, you won't have the money to fix it up. Where are you going to come up with another 10 or 15 or 20,000 to fix it up? Let's use the investor's money to fix it up. That's part of my profit, but I'm willing to do that. Because when you get a loan at 4%, the extra $10,000 that might be on the property is probably going to make about a $50 difference in your payment per month. Right, Jim? There's a number guy back there. He knows. $50 a month isn't that big a deal. Coming up with an extra 10 or 20,000 would be. So, you know, and we might get a higher appraisal when it's fixed up, right? So we can sell it for more. Okay, so this is the wholesaling site. Earned income, flipping wholesaling properties. Never in our name, never buy it. And again, we don't want to do low-end stuff. We want to do high-end stuff. The better we can get up around $1 million, the better, okay? Because we're going to spend the same amount of time. And actually, it's easier to make the money there. It's easier to deal with people there. When you're dealing with people who are, you know, have a house in, say, $50,000 range, every dime they've got is worth millions to them because it's very little. I don't want to go over there and try to drive these people crazy for an extra $2,000. You know, we've had investors with $1 million properties that say, oh, I'll pay the $20,000 fee. I don't care. You don't have to have the buyer pay it. At that range, that's how those people act. Okay? It's different.
Did that one sell?
No. Turned out that we had that particular picture that we have up there, that $4.5 million property, we had some finance lenders go check out the property. When they checked out the property, they came back and they said, well, we've done our due diligence. And I said, okay, so what's the deal?